John has a similar but different approach to this, and so John, take the helm.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, this is all sort of, it's a lot to take in, all of the sort of technology side of all of this. For me, one of the realizations I made, and I would love if somebody on the more technical side that's with us tonight can speak to the sort of under the hood aspect of it. But I attempted a bunch of different things with using different software solutions, like with Source Connect, with audio movers, various different things. And really I have 5 different headphone mixes going out to 5 different people, and basically calculate the round trip of, I'm sending a STEM session, so the idea is we were going to sort of play it, fly in formation. We know we're not going to be all able to hear each other, but we could produce a compelling live event for internet. Meaning that, I have a STEM session and I'm, sending the drummers getting a session minus the drums, but he's getting a click and he's getting all the other guys, et cetera, et cetera. So we're building headphone mixes for everybody so they can sort of perform in their little containers, and it all comes back to me, and I calculate all the round trip delays and I put it all back together. Well, the elasticity of the internet becomes a real problem here, because as soon as somebody mutes the audio on their Zoom chat, then all of a sudden their internet round trip delay changes. And the kid down the street, kicks into Fortnite, and all of a sudden the internet round trip changes. So all these sort of factors, when you're dealing with the hostile world of the consumer internet, clearly the idea of, if we're trying to chase latency and trying to get to where we can have people playing as an ensemble on the internet is, unless you have broadcaster internet, you have the fire hose of the internet connected to you, it's almost impossible. But if we look at it as being, instead of it's an audio stream, what if it's an incremental upload and an incremental download? So I don't actually care if if we're doing the push it downhill method, I don't actually care that the drummer is 1 second out in front, or 2 seconds, or 5 seconds. I don't even care how early he is. If we're doing the kind of thing where we're sort of pushing it all downhill, just to get that to work, there has to be some sort of, synchronization to the whole thing. So we're not all sort of heading off in different vectors in terms of the long arc of our clocks. So that's one problem to solve. And then, the thing is that you can actually do something like that. You can produce a live event for internet by doing that method. But, right now there isn't really a sort of an in-the-box kind of technical solution for that, where we look at it, instead of being streaming, we look at it as an FTP server, and we're moving chunks of audio and then putting it back together on the other end. So, that's a problem to solve. And then, sort of the idea of being able to make a compelling performance that people can see and hear in real time and synchronize it all is really the problem to solve. And, so we've been working on a what's turning out to be a really cool but very complex solution to that. And, I can't say too much until we have sort of gotten to anyways, there's sort of all
Dot the I's, cross the T's.
Exactly. Yeah. All that sort of stuff, but what I will say is that, what we lack in the audio industry is a standard, right? We don't have an open standard of how audio moves over the internet. It's all best effort. It's all, you can, sneak QoS packets in there and hope that you can, try and trick the sort of hostile, springy internet into dealing with your audio. But one of the realizations I had to make early on was that, you know, and the example I like to use is that if we both go on uh, Disney Plus or Netflix or something, we both decide to watch the same 2-hour movie, and we both hit the space bar at the same time, and we're both watching the movie, mine might end 5 minutes before yours does, if mine's dropping packets and things, because it's just pushing out a streaming experience. But really, what you know, trying to keep them synchronized all the way through in two different locations is the challenge, you know. So that's a problem to solve. But you know, um, basically, you know, if we can push audio downhill from one person to the other and have it move in a very synchronized way, you know, the drummer is going to be the first person who tells you that the audio is not hanging together, that there's, you know, a fraction of a 16th note got dropped somewhere. You know, so these are the problems to solve, you know, is figuring out the technology with that. And then, you know, basically putting it all together. I don't know if anybody else has attempted to do that. I'd love to hear from anybody else who is sort of trying to do the push it downhill method and what's working and what's not. But anyways, yeah, I mean,